Ideology of education. My own personal ideology of education. This should be fun. Hello? Oi, can you hear that? Alistair. Yes. Yes, it's us, me, you. Okay. I have come from the future to teach you all about how our ideology will change. Right. This concept's a little tenuous, isn't it? Shh. Okay. Tell me about our ideology then. I'm all ears. Ideology. A convergence of ideas. By Alistair Barfield. The Oxford English Dictionary defines an ideology as... Stop! Are you really going to start the presentation with a definition of ideology? Yes? No, that's far too cliche. Also, the white background is a bit... isn't it? Fine. Give me 2 seconds. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. John Dewey. Is that better? Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so my original opinions were simple. School should be structured, overly formal, with a teacher-centric approach, where discipline was heavily emphasized. I assumed, well, naively, that because the best schools in the world, conservative old private schools, use these approaches, that it must be the sole cause of their success. This is absurdly naive in hindsight. Hey, that's a bit harsh. I failed to take into account the quality of teaching, the backgrounds of the students, and the fundamental misunderstanding that exam results are not the sole purpose of schooling. I was so extreme in my beliefs that I advocated the entire removal of all creative subjects in favour of more maths, science, and English. I assumed that by focusing on these fundamental subjects and cracking down hard on misbehaviour, I'd create students who are resilient, hard-working and resourceful. The truth is that education is as nuanced as the students themselves. But that's what I believe now. Surely something made us change our mind. What was it? Ironically, becoming educated on the issues and challenges in schools aided me, right? Okay, so if we don't believe that anymore, what exactly do we believe now? I advocate for a more child-centered approach to education, with an emphasis placed on discussion and debate, learning independently, and applying knowledge to real-world concepts. These ideas have all been heavily influenced by the work of British educationalist Robin Alexander and his theory of dialogic teaching. Alexander argues that traditional teaching focuses too heavily on one-way communication, a teacher standing at the front of a classroom dictating information to pupils. This is an old, outdated concept. Dialogic teaching, in contrast, encourages discussion, enabling the teacher to gain more accurate, constant formative feedback, helping them to not only tailor the content of their lessons, but also more accurately gauge the level of understanding their pupils have achieved. Accurate feedback was shown by New Zealand educationalist John Hattie to be one of the most positive, impactful changes that a teacher can make. Wait, are you eating? Alistair, could you just pay attention for 2 minutes of your life? Please. Sorry. At least it's an apple. That vaguely fits in with the next slide. In my opinion, the single most important thing a teacher can be is a positive role model. I believe educators' responsibility is not only one of imparting information, but also more holistic ideas. The obesity crisis in Britain is an epidemic of disastrous proportions. According to the Health Survey for England 2017, conducted by the National Health Service, over 64% of adults in the UK are overweight or obese. Only 18% of children under the age of 15 had their 5 fruit and veg a day. This is a great burden to not only the NHS from an economic perspective, but also the health of our citizens. I believe this can be curbed through education. We should educate children on the ways to exercise and healthy diets. I believe teachers who do not display healthy characteristics, for example, eating unhealthy food or lacking in knowledge in regards to healthy lifestyles, could be educated at workshops for how to display positive characteristics accordingly, as it is their responsibility to maintain a positive role model for children to emulate and hopefully save future generations from this crisis. Just like physical well-being, mental health is of great importance. Mental health issues are becoming more prevalent in the UK, particularly those related to anxiety. According to a BBC report, there are over 18,000 children under the age of 12 being prescribed antidepressants yearly. According to the Suicide Statistics Report published by the British suicide awareness charity Samaritans, suicide rates are steadily dropping. They attribute this in part to more open discussion of mental health issues. Mental health is becoming less of a taboo issue in British society, and as accordingly, I believe it is immensely important for teachers to be educated in mental health well-being, so they can aid in breaking the cultural taboo and aid children who may be vulnerable to these issues, particularly in regards to the further stresses schools place on students around exam time. I advocate for less of an emphasis on summative assessment, like exams, as they do create anxiety and tension. Digital technology has become an omnipresent aspect of modern society. According to research agency Childwise in a 2016 study, they found that 54% of 3 to 4-year-old children now have their own device. Children are no longer using technology solely as a tool for entertainment or education. It is truly becoming their gateway to the world. Therefore, it should be in use throughout all schooling. In the Nesta report, Next Gen, Ian Livingstone hypothesizes a future of the UK where the technology sector, particularly entertainment fields including video games and computer design, are populated by British talent. He argues that computer science should be a compulsory subject taught in all ages of the UK. That is something that I agree wholeheartedly with. My ideology places such a great emphasis on technology's ability to create new opportunities that computer science is of equal value to English or maths. My ideology can be viewed as being comprised of 3 separate factors. Firstly, I advocate for a child-centered approach, with a greater emphasis on discussion in the classroom, not only to facilitate more accurate feedback, but to encourage metacognition and practical application of thought. It is because of this, as well as a way to alleviate some of the issues associated with childhood mental health issues, that I advocate for a lack of emphasis on exams, especially with younger children. Secondly, I prescribe greater teacher training in mental and physical health issues, with an attempt to curb the rise of obesity and mental health conditions. By being open and frank in our discussion of these issues, we can help to solve them. I truly believe that through education, we can save lives. Lastly, I believe in digital technology's power to disrupt the traditional classroom. I advocate for new pedagogy based on the use of technology not solely as a tool, but as the basis for creating. I also advocate for computer science to become a compulsory subject at all years of British education to help train a new generation of computer scientists, graphic designers, and coders. Using all three of these aspects, I believe we could create a school system that is the envy of the world, with greater reach, and create happier, more employable, independent thinking citizens. I hope I've helped change your mind, past me. I think I get it. School isn't just about information. It's not just about learning. It's not just about education. It's about socializing and being integrated to society and applying the knowledge you learn. You know what, future me? You are absolutely 100% right. Strange that I'd agree with myself. You're completely right. I think we have to create a school system that enables children to flourish regardless of academic ability. Okay, so seeing as you're from the future, can you tell me next week's lottery numbers? Sure, not a problem at all. It's, oh no, my time machine is disappearing. Don't gamble anyway. Fine. More information on my ideology can be found in the attached essays. I do hope you've enjoyed listening to me talk, and I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you.